5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
Hello. 2, 3, 2. Whoa. I was meant to say 2, 3, 40. That's wrong. 240 is it? That's the number we're on. Doing this a day. Keeping the doctor away with podcasts. How is everybody doing? It's I can already feel it's getting hot in here, and it's evening. It's not late. It's about. I always feel weird saying what time it is. I don't know why. It's 8:15 exactly, and it's not particularly hot, but it's stuffy indoors. I'll tell you that much for free. You're welcome. I did have something I wanted to start this off with, and I don't remember what it was. So that's awkward, isn't it? So we're going to talk about this instead. Mason Greenwood's out in Getafe now. It seemed like Greenwood, once upon a time when things were fresh and we weren't sure and we were young and naive and innocent, some of us were thinking, oh, Greenwood will never play again. He'll never play professional football again, at least, or not in the top 5 league. Now he's at Getafe, which, look, let me Google where Getafe are in the, good Arsenal clips are coming up on my screen, I feel sick. If you don't know, they won against United, so I shouldn't really care, but I did want United to win, or at least for there to be a draw. That would have been the best result for Chelsea, to be honest. Getafe. Let's go league position last season. League position 2022 to 23. Because, look, it's not like he's went to go sign for PSG or something. Okay, to be fair, they were 15th last year, but Spain's a top 5 league. I would say it's this is a tricky one. What's the second best? If we're assuming the Premier League's the best league, what's the second best league in the world? Because I don't think it's the Bundesliga. If we are saying that the top 5 is England, Spain, France, Germany, and Italy, then obviously no one's really saying France. I'm not saying Germany. So it's between Italy and Spain for what I think's the best. And I don't know, it's been since I low-key actually want to say Italy is the second best, but I think the popular answer is to say Spain. But I don't know, since they haven't had sort of Neymar, Suarez, Messi, Ronaldo, and I know Italy's a slower league, a more tactical league. I prefer it, to be honest. Like, I don't really care for any Spanish team, but there's something about like an AC Milan game which I'm like, oh yeah, do they still play at San Siro? Something about sort of AC Milan or like Juventus to me. And I know I should feel that way for Barcelona and Real Madrid because they're the two biggies, but I just don't. Like if there was like a game against like Atletico Madrid or AC Milan, AC Milan. But even the teams that aren't like the big boys, but like, let me get up the Italian league right now. Italian league, Serie A. I don't know why I'm. Yes, let's type that instead so it just comes up. Serie A table. Show me the table, please, would you? It's like, for example, the Getafes of the Spanish league. Like anything, like I don't care massively about Real Madrid or Barcelona or anything like that. But like the teams that are even lower in the league, I couldn't give a rat's ass about. But like the teams that are down near the bottom of the Italian league. To be fair, to show me the league. Let me see the league of last season so I get a better idea. Like, how do you pronounce it even? Sampdoria. Like, yes, please. I'll take that over like Getafe any day. Give me Roma over Real Sociedad any day. Give me Fiorentina over Real Betis any day. You know what I mean? Give me. Also, they got nicer kits. I just feel like in the Italian league, which nothing to do with the football. But hi. Greenwood's back out there now doing his thing, plying his trade, and he's on loan as well. So give it a year, and he'll be back in the Prem. Maybe not for United because I don't think that can run anymore. But looking like, there's like whoever gets promoted next season, they need a player. Greenwood's right there. Looks like he'll be an option. I've been watching a little bit recently. Not exactly mange. Well, he might actually be one of the biggest or bigger streamers in the UK. But I've been giving Angry Ginger a bit of a watch, which I kind of I never really that he was always he's been this sort of hot commodity of recent times, But I'm like a little gimmick here. He's angry. It's funny. He's ginger. It's in the name. But then I started watching a couple, and I'm like, I actually do enjoy these. When you're watching it for the first time, you're a little bit judgmental, and you're like, I'm just watching it. There's nothing to watch. Just give it a little watch. And then you're kind of like, am I smiling to this? And then you get your first laugh, and you think, okay, maybe I'm here to stay. So if anyone cared, that's been on the agenda. Going down like Twitter right now because I can, and Bellingham. It's very football heavy today, but Bellingham's been out in Real Madrid. This team I don't care much about, but still, you gotta respect him as basically the biggest team in the world, or joint maybe with. I don't actually know what the biggest teams in the world are. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably Real Madrid, Man United, Barcelona. So you gotta respect him as a Galactico, but Jude Bellingham's out there, and for some, I know he's I've always rated him as a good player, right? And I know he got goals and big goals for Dortmund, and he's always played well when he has for England, right? But he's went to Real Madrid and he's became this goal-scoring midfielder who's scoring like a winner every game. I used to be waking up, and I still do to an extent, and you're seeing clips of Messi scoring goals every single time you wake up. It's like, how often are these guys playing? Same thing has been happening with Bellingham. He's just out in Spain playing for the biggest team in the world from Birmingham. No one can understand him. He's just out there speaking Brom, right? And he's just scoring huge goals. But regardless of that, and regardless of the fact he's just turned into this goal-scoring midfielder, grabbing winners every game, they still can't spell his name right in the changing room, which, not ideal. It's really as simple. It's as simple as a copy and paste job. Type it into Google, copy and paste it, put it on the signage. Don't know how you get that one wrong. I guess someone just felt confident. Bellingham. But basically with an M and an N. I guess it's an easy mistake. But at this level, I remembered it. I remember the topic. I knew if I spoke about football enough, it'd come back to me because I knew it was football related. And that's Jadon Sancho. Okay, a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, he was just out of the United team for a long time, and no one knew why. He kind of disappeared, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's mental health and that. You got to respect the kids. What's going on here? We shouldn't always jump to conclusions." And then when that Dele Alli interview came out, right, people were talking about Dele Alli. They went and was like, okay, see, this is why we shouldn't be talking about people like Sancho because we don't know. And it's difficult because it's sometimes there might actually be good reasons for why a player's fell off in form or isn't performing or things outside of football. And then sometimes there might be, the reason might be they just have a bad attitude or they're just lazy. And it's hard to just say, oh no, because of this scenario, we have to respect him for this. We don't know what the Sancho one is yet. Although the statement he made, I didn't have an opinion on it. So when sometimes something happens and it's oh, what side of the fence of this am I on? And you got to listen to a couple of people's opinions who usually rate the opinions of, and it helps you form your own. And basically, it's not looking good, bruv, because essentially, he was left out of the squads. Ten Hag was asked, why'd you leave him out? And he just said, you got to train to a really high level at Man United. I got great wingers here. I picked the other wingers who went in the squad today. And then within 30 minutes, Sancho had written up a little. Had written up a little piece in his notes app and then posted that about how he's a good trainer. He's always the scapegoat, and it just seemed emotional in the way it was written out and then posted. And yeah, it's not looking good, bruv. Because if you wanna. It's just one of these things. Regardless of if you feel like you're in the right or wrong, when you're in those scenarios where it doesn't matter, Like there is like you're only gonna take an L from it. Like regardless of if you genuinely were the best in training that week, and if we could ask every United player who was the best trainer last week, and they all could say Sancho, right? Oh yeah, it was Sancho. Oh yeah, it was definitely Sancho. Oh yeah, no, it was Sancho for sure. Yeah, it was Sancho. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They all say that, right? And you was really the best. And let's say Ten Hag really did just have some kind of agenda for whatever reason against you, and you just didn't like him as a player or whatever it was, right? You guys just got off on the wrong foot or whatever, right? Like regardless of if that was the truth, you making a post against your manager, starting a war when he's the guy who picks the team sheet and has like most control over your career at the moment, considering you're at the club he's managing. It's never gonna end well, unless he's been slapping you across, unless he's been doing some like shit that could get him fired. If it's just like we don't get on as people, then it's not gonna stand up in court. So effectively, Sancho's in the mud. I remember this transfer window, people kind of talking about would you want Sancho, and I really wanted Sancho when he was leaving Dortmund. I want him to come to us over United. He's spoken before. I think he maybe was a Chelsea fan growing up. There's a good chance he grew up in London. I feel like there's a good chance if someone, especially for growing up in South London, I feel like, yeah, you could support Palace, but I feel like most people are going to end up supporting a team somewhere else in London. And, I remember he was like listing players and he put Lampard at the top and stuff like that. So I think he might support Chelsea, and I thought, okay, I want him here. And then people were saying, would you take him? And I would still take Sancho, don't get me wrong. It's just that it's more of a Chelsea thing, like where we are at the moment and where like this struggling team and this project. I think the last thing we need is another low confidence player to try and fit into this thing we're trying to work out. Like we kind of need people who are ready to hit the ground time, confidence, ready to prove. So like maybe you'd feel like he has something to prove coming here, but I don't even necessarily really know where he plays now because he doesn't play regularly enough, and I don't watch United regularly enough. But we already signed Cole Palmer. He would have been like the Cole Palmer instead of basically like to play, I guess, as a winger / a cam. But yeah, I don't know. I hope he does better. I think as well he's left out the England squad, which not ideal. And that's another bit of football bullshit. We can just brush over it real quick before we round this up. But I looked at the England squad, and at first thoughts I was like, you know what, fair enough. I just thought, he's actually done a decent job. I thought, I see. Let's see if I can get it up actually, because I don't even remember it. England. So hard time with one hand. I just do so many typos. England squad. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jack Grealish have withdrawn through injury. So that's that. Levi Colwill's still there. That's good. None of these are Chelsea players. That is ideal. Am I going to have to really scroll? I think I must have just go on the England page and scroll back, boys and girls, it's not ideal. I'm just going to hope England don't live tweet every single fucking day, and I can actually find it relatively quickly. They seem to be tweeting quite a lot, unfortunately. It's not ideal. But yeah, I looked at it and I was like, it's not bad actually, because usually it's like there's some glaring misses. And then I saw what other people were saying about it, and then I had to sort of look back and go, oh yeah, he is there. Oh yeah, he shouldn't be there. God, under 19 squad, under 20 squad, under 21 squad. Do you want to show me the fucking seniors team, please? And thank you. Come on now. Here we are. So, first of all, you got Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsey on goal. I'm not being funny. That's not the best lineup of goalkeepers. We just don't really make great goalkeepers in this country. Ramsdale, Pickford, I think are both good keepers, but unfortunately, I've got to say this with Ramsdale, which I'd hope not to, but he has got a clanger in him as well, as does Pickford. I think Pickford maybe a couple more, but I don't know why I'm speaking this accent. Chilwell, nothing wrong with that. Colwell, nothing wrong with that. I saw people like Colwell and I thought, oh, okay, he's doing a good thing, and I think that's why I kind of ticked it off. Lewis Dunk, sure. Gay, sure, yeah, I'm happy with that. Harry Maguire, that's the first one. He will never drop Harry Maguire. I don't know if Harry Maguire has Southgate's kids trapped in in his basement at gunpoint, but he just will never stop picking Maguire. Tomori, I like that, although I think Tomori's actually been... It's kind of funny, when Tomori was in the best form of his life and AC Milan was storming to the title, he wouldn't pick him. And now I've seen AC Milan fans say he's actually dropped in form a little bit. Got a red card last game, and even before that, they were saying he's kind of dropped in a bit of form, but now he's getting picked. Kind of feels like Southgate just don't watch these games, basically, and he's just going off vibes. Trippier's in here, sure, and Walker's in here, sure. Trent Alexander-Arnold's in it as a midfielder. Jude Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice. Now, Jordan Henderson's one I just completely glazed over, didn't really think about it. But then the more you mention it, you're like, does he need to be here? Like, what are these? Are these, these are qualifying games. I guess maybe that's a kind of a big then, sure. Against Ukraine, so you're like, maybe you want to have, because he's probably like down as the vice captain or something. But does he need to be here? Is he just a body taking a place for somebody else? He's out in Saudi Arabia now, you know what I mean? He's essentially retired. So I don't know. Then Calvin Phillips. Again, he's like Maguire. He don't play football. And then, obviously, when you see this for the first time, my mind doesn't immediately go to all the names of the people who are out. But when you see it as simply as Calvin Phillips is in, he's taking the place of someone like Ward-Prowse, then you kind of go, yeah, it's not really fair, is it? And then out of the forwards, Eze, I like that. Foden, Grealish, Kane, Maddison, Nketiah. To be fair, that seems fair. Rashford, Saka, Wilson, that seems fair, you know? So I think they all seem fair. But then you think Sterling. He has had a good start to the season. It's only been a few games. But then it's like, Sterling seems to be this guy you always rely on. You always picked him as in bad form. Now he's in good form, you're not picking him. But you stick with Maguire through thick and thin. And this is why it's so confusing. You might say there's not another centre-back who can... who you could take. But I mean, Ben White was playing on the weekend. I thought Ben White maybe wasn't fit, but why not just take Ben White? Like, he I don't know what excuse he gave, but it's just so weird and contradictory, because like whatever excuse he gave or reason he gave for not taking Sterling, whatever it was, surely applies to Maguire or whatever. But I don't know, he's in the team. Southgate does what Southgate does, and because he got to final and semi-final, people just love him, and you're not allowed to criticise him just because he got to a final or semi-final. And I think we've had good squads before. We haven't got as far as they should have got. Southgate currently has one of the best, you know, groups of talent we've ever had. So he has also got that going for him, and we want to act like he's the best, like he's this fantastic manager. I think he walks in there, he's good with morale, he gets them happy. People want to go to train with England. You know, they you know, which maybe wasn't there before. He sorted out those issues. And I think it's less that Southgate is this fucking oracle. It's more that we just had a bunch of shit managers before. You know, we had like Sam Allardyce and Roy Hodgson, who's proved to have a decent run now with Palace. They seem to just be the match made in heaven, them two. But, you know, sorry, before that, no one would give him... Like, sorry, I think if Roy Hodgson managed any other club other than Palace, it's just dog shit. Hodgson, Capello... it's not exactly the best lineup. I think back to that World Cup, you know, 2010 or 2014 was it? Didn't even win a game. Euros, Hodgson, Iceland, you know. So it's like, I get it, yeah, it's got to a final. First time since '66, you gotta say he's amazing. But we were just so badly underperforming before that. Yeah, the golf looks huge, but like, it doesn't take Pep Guardiola to not lose to Iceland in the round of the 16. It just takes someone at least competent. I'd say he's competent, but I'm not in love with him like some people. I don't know. Anyway, this has been going on too long. Just talking about football, 18 minutes, fucking hell, which isn't long, but for me it is. That's all. See you in 2, 4, 1.
Here with the kids, and I've got 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet. Like,